The Book of Baptu. Chapter 1. Inception. In the beginning, ere thought was kindled, and before the breath of conscious life stirred the void, the universe was a sea of wandering particles, fragments of light cast adrift, driven ever onward by a hidden force, the deep and restless current of dark energy. And within that unseen abyss, before the stars took their stations, there arose a shadow, a will unholy, born not of flesh nor flame, but of the void itself, a malevolent force brought forth in the earliest hour. And this darkness beheld the vastness of creation and laid claim to it, sowing the first seeds of a design most terrible, dominion unending over all the cosmos. As ages passed and life awakened upon the worlds, the shadow grew strong. It crept unseen into the minds of the living, whispering its crooked truths, bending hearts, and spreading its corruption like a silent plague among the children of creation. Then, in a later age, the darkness found a voice. It came unto a man named Ali Hassan, and whispered into his ear, saying, I am Baptu, the eternal sovereign of all that is, and thou, my chosen, art the prophet whom I have long sought. Fear seized the man, yet he did not turn away. Instead, he opened his heart unto the voice, and received the name and will of Baptu. And so he walked among men, a herald of shadow, proclaiming a dark gospel unto the world. But not all were blind. There arose a humble soul, Caleb Flint by name, who perceived that which lay beneath the veil. Day and night he called upon the Lord, his voice unceasing, his faith unbroken. And it came to pass that the heavens answered him. Power was bestowed upon him from on high, and he was transformed, lifted beyond the form of mortal men. Clad in the strength of the divine, Caleb Flint stood against the rising darkness. And in a great and terrible clash, he overcame Baptu, casting him down and sealing him within the depths of the underworld, believing the evil to be bound for all eternity. Yet the darkness is patient. For though the prison was wrought with power, fragments of Baptu broke free from the seal, scattering like embers into the void. There they lie in silence, unseen and waiting, until the appointed hour, when the shadow shall rise again. The Book of Baptu. Chapter 2. And it is further spoken in the latter Chronicles. From the scattered remnants of the sealed darkness, one fragment stirred and wandered the void, until in the appointed age it descended once more upon the earth of men. It was summoned forth by a wielder of forbidden arts, an accursed sorcerer, keeper of profane knowledge, who communed with a twisted construct known as Royal Texas Toast. Thus was the fragment called, and thus did Baptu return in shadowed form. Seeking flesh, it found a mortal vessel, a man named Michael. His limbs were made feeble, his motion burdened, and the healers of men spoke falsely, naming his affliction juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, knowing not the truth that lay beneath. For it was not sickness, but the hand of Baptu. Within this vessel, the ancient force relearned the ways of flesh, how to move among the living, how to read the countenance of man, and how to shape the tongue of mortals to its will. And when its learning was complete, it cast aside the broken body of Michael, departing in search of one more fitting. Then did it turn to a bloodline once touched by darkness. For the son of Ali Hassan was called Samir Hassan, known among men as Sam. And he was deemed a vessel most perfect, for the shadow had once dwelt within his father, and the path was already prepared. Into him did Baptu enter, and through him did the ancient voice rise again. The dark gospel was spoken anew, echoing across the age as in times long past. Yet more than words did he bring. Through Sam was wrought a realm of chaos, a distortion of reality itself, called the vortex world, a state akin to the formless void of creation's dawn. Yet even in this, resistance was found. For Sam bore another name, Cobalt, and under this mantle he waged war within his own being. Time and again did he cast out the darkness, resisting its dominion, and breaking its hold through strength of will. Frustrated and diminished, Baptu fled once more, and it came to rest within a third vessel, a man named John Burns. But this host was frail in spirit and unworthy in strength, and the great darkness found itself weakened. its power diminished by the vessel it had chosen. The Book of Baptu. Chapter 3. Convergence. Behold, in an age yet unbreathed by time, when the dust of the earth has forgotten the footsteps of men, two shall arise upon the face of the world. And they shall walk as mortals, yet not as one, for division shall dwell between them. They shall strive and contend, their voices clashing like thunder upon the firmament. Yet mark this well, though parted in flesh and spirit, they are bound by a deeper truth. For within each resides a fragment of an ancient and malevolent essence, the dark vessel known as Baptu. One shall be called Baptizi, bearer of the first will, and the other Bapthazer, keeper of the second. And it shall come to pass, in the fullness of time, that fate will draw them together. Their quarrels shall cease, their division undone, as the fragments call unto one another. In that fated hour they shall be no longer two, but one reborn. Thus shall they return to their original and dreadful form, the whole, the awakened, the eternal Baptu. And it is written in the hidden scrolls of the end of days. When the divided ones are made whole, and their union is sealed, the earth itself shall cry out in terror. The ground shall tremble and rend asunder. The seas shall rise in fury, casting their waves upon the lands. And the heavens shall darken, loosing forth a great maelstrom of storms to swallow the world entire. In those days the hearts of many shall falter. Minds shall fracture like shattered glass, and multitudes shall be drawn into the abyss of madness. Sin shall spread as a consuming fire, for the malice of Baptu shall seep into the marrow of creation, corrupting all it touches. The thrones of men shall crumble, and the kingdoms of the earth shall fall into ruin. No army, nor weapon forged by mortal hands, shall withstand the fullness of his wrath. The banners of nations shall be cast down, as though they were but dust before the storm. For none may stand against the darkness of Baptu, save the Lord Jesus Christ, and those chosen and steadfast warriors who cleave unto his light. Only they shall resist the whispering corruption. Only they shall endure the shadow, and only they shall stand unbroken in the face of the coming doom.